Hello everyone, and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be explaining how and why Maiming Strike works the way it does, where you can get Maiming Strike from, and so on. I've seen many misconceptions / myths scattered around YouTube and the forums about the mod and its interactions with other mods, so I hope to clear some of those up in this video. So before I explain how Maiming Strike works, you first have to understand how critical chance is calculated with regular crit mods. Here I have the Atarax, which has a base crit chance of 25%, and if I add True Steel, which gives me 60% extra critical chance, my crit chance goes up from 25 to 40%. The formula to find critical chance with regular crit mods like True Steel, for example, is base critical chance plus critical bonus, the critical bonus being the 60% extra critical chance from True Steel, times the base critical chance. So when you substitute R values in from the Atarax and the True Steel, you get 25% plus 0.6 times 0.25 or 0.4, which is equal to 40%. However, Maiming Strike works a little bit differently. So if I remove True Steel on here, and we go over and look at the description for Maiming Strike, it says that slide attack has plus 90% chance to be a critical hit. But the thing that the mod doesn't tell you is that that's additive instead of being multiplicative like most regular crit mods and like True Steel. So you can't just plug in as opposed to 0.6 in the formula, 0.9, that doesn't work. What that means is you literally take 25% crit chance plus 90% crit chance to give you your crit chance on slide. So 25% plus 90% gives you 115% crit chance on slide. Okay, so now that you have a general understanding of how critical chance is calculated on both regular mods and with Maiming Strike, I can show you the synergy between other mods in your build and Maiming Strike. So here, I'm going to be using the Skoliak, which has a base critical chance of 5%. As for mods, the only mod that's actually increasing my critical chance is Maiming Strike. So I have the base 5% plus the 90%, which gives me 95%. Drifting Contact just gives me a little extra combo duration. Prime Fury just makes it faster. My attack speed is higher, and then Prime Reach is just for more range. So the interesting mod is when I add Blood Rush. Now Blood Rush gives 165% extra critical chance, and it stacks with the combo Multiplier. So if I go and test this out on an enemy, let's say a Corrupted Ancient at level 65, I'll spawn him in. When I do, I'll take out my Skoliak so that you can actually see. So I'm getting a yellow crit, So you can see my combo multiplier is at 4 down at the bottom there, and it scales with each hit. But as soon as I go to 1.5, I get red crit. And then I keep getting red crits, and I keep getting red crits. And so for as long as I keep doing this, I will continue to keep getting red crits. So what exactly is going on here? And why is Blood Rush giving me such a large bonus over the regular critical chance? So the question now becomes, how does Blood Rush interact with Maiming Strike? So when you do all the math out, you do the 5% at base, times the combo counter times Blood Rush, and then you add in the Maiming Strike on top of that, you end up with a little bit over 100% critical chance. But that's not really representative of what we saw, because we saw all red crits as soon as we hit a 1.5 times multiplier. And having a little bit over 100% critical chance should not give constant red crits. In fact, it should give only all yellows and then a very small chance of getting an orange crit. But we saw constant reds, which means we either had a really high 200% area crit chance, or we had over 300% crit chance. So what's going on here? Well, it turns out that when you take the bonus from Blood Rush and then apply the additive bonus from Maiming Strike before the Blood Rush bonus, you end up with the formula base critical chance plus Maiming plus base critical chance plus Maiming times the combo multiplier times the bonus from Blood Rush, which gives you, when you substitute R values in there for it, you get 0.05 plus 0.9 plus 0.05 plus 0.9 times 1.5 times 1.65, and you end up with a 330.125% crit chance, which explains all of our red crits. And you can actually test this by going back and then looking at the damage numbers and then extrapolating what 330% crit chance actually means. So then, what does 330% crit chance actually mean? I'm sure you're all aware there are yellow, orange, and then there are red crits. I know some people talk about purple crits, but that's just damage to overshields. They're not real crits. So with each level of crit, you gain more and more critical damage. So orange does more damage than a yellow crit, and then red crits do more damage than both yellow and orange crits, as far as the critical multiplier is concerned. So then, how do you find the actual critical multiplier of like a red crit, for example? Well, the critical multiplier is equal to the crit level times the crit multiplier minus 1 plus 1. So you might be asking, what is the crit level then? The crit level is each 100% block, you could say, of your critical chance. So at a 100% crit chance, you have a guaranteed 1.0 multiplier. At a 200% crit chance, you have a guaranteed 2.0 crit level, I guess you could say. At 3, the crit level is 3. At 400%, the crit level is 4, and so on. So when you do this, you can plug in the equation for our Skoliak that we have. So our crit chance was 330%. That means that we have a guaranteed crit level 3 and a 30% chance of having a crit level of 4. So I'm just going to plug it in as 3. So we have 3 times 1.5 minus 1 plus 1, which gives us a 2.5 times multiplier, as opposed to our base multiplier of 1.5 times. Now you might say that's not very impressive. It only gives us an extra 1 damage to the critical multiplier. But when we substitute the Atarax, which has at base, again, all the same mods that we had, it has a 399.625% crit chance, just because the base critical chance is 25 at base versus 5 for the Skoliak, and a 3.0 crit multiplier. So at 399% crit chance, that's basically having a 4.0 crit level, because it's 99% chance of getting a 4 times crit level. So it's 4 times 3.0 minus 1 plus 1 gives us a 9 times crit multiplier. Now, 9 times multiplier is pretty good, however, the multiplier can go much, much higher. For example, when we add Organ Shatter and we increase the combo counter to 3 times as opposed to 1.5, the equation then becomes 7 times 5.7 minus 1 plus 1, giving us a multiplier of 33.9. And it's important to note that the 33.9 times multiplier is not including the bonus from the actual combo counter. So the 3 times damage that you're getting is not included in that. If you wanted to include that, it'd just be 33.9 times 3, giving you a total multiplier of 101.7. So then, how exactly do you acquire Maiming Strike? Well, Maiming Strike was introduced back in early 2016 with the Shadow Dead event, and it dropped from the acolyte called Violence. Now, the event has long passed and you can no longer get it from the event. However, once in a while, DE will release the acolytes back and you have a 1 to 2 week period to maybe get it dropped from Violence. However, the drop rate is only about 4%, and that is why it's such a rare mod. Now, there is an alternative. Either you can go and buy it through Trade Chat, which it happens to be pretty expensive, or you can go and get a Melee Riven mod. Now, with Melee Riven mods, there is one stat that can be rolled on it, which is additive crit chance on slide. Now, if you get that stat and you have a higher disposition melee weapon, you can get well over 100% bonus additive critical chance on slide. Even for some weapons, you can get over 150%, making it much more powerful than Maiming Strike would be on the same weapon. Well, that just about concludes the video. I hope you learned something you might not have known about Maiming Strike. Feel free to leave your comments and or questions down below. I'll try my best to answer them, and I hope to see you in the next video.